What is something that your parents did that you swore never to repeat to your own kids? Try to be controlling over my kid's life and blame all their problems on the other parent. Redo things they've done because it's not the exact way I would have done it. My mom would refold the laundry or remake my bed. Drove me nuts and made me feel like why even bother trying? Have too many pets in the house. I loved them all, but at the highest we had 11 cats and 3 dogs. And it was just kind of embarrassing, and I never wanted to bring people over to my house. Use them as leverage against the other parent. Abuse them. Allow them to be abused by a significant other. Abandon them, then return years later once they've grown and try to cause them as much pain as possible for who knows why. I have 4 sons and I genuinely can't imagine doing most of what happened to me to them. Monsieur. Blows my mind. Refuse to admit I was wrong. Minimize anything they pursue. Edit. Hey, thanks for the award, that's so kind. Teaching them by comparing them to their own better behaved, smarter siblings. In a very condescending manner. OFC. Get loaded in front of the monsieur. Growing up in a family of drunks has soured me for the most part to drinking, even socially. I do partake occasionally but not often. Deep down I feel alcoholism is in my genetics, so I steer clear unless the occasion is perfect. Lecture. My mom could go on for hours for even small misbehaviors. Somehow, it usually looped around to how I didn't keep my room clean, even though the rest of the house was just as much of a mess or worse. When I need to have a stern or serious discussion with my kids, I force myself to make my point in 5 minutes or less. I've even said stuff like, "Look, this is taking way too long. Just don't do disallowed thing again, okay?" Quote. I also apologize if I yell as soon as I am emotionally able to after an angry outburst. I don't remember mom ever doing that. Well, I had a stepmother who insisted God was punishing my dad for being mean to her, while blood was flowing out of his mouth, eyes and nose. Then refused to drive him to the hospital. That always seemed like something I'd want to avoid. Any friends I would make, she would tell me I couldn't hang out with them because of X reason. She grounded me for 6 months because I forgot to take out one of the trashes. Not that it mattered. I wasn't allowed to go anywhere anyway. There was one time that I had to stand in a corner in my underwear without heat because she heard a noise that woke her up, and obviously it was me. Once I confessed I could go, I ended up lasting about 18 hours of insisting it wasn't me. Ugly crying in the corner till like 3 a.m. at 8 years old. I had to endure 10 years of that because she kept emptying my dad's bank account every time he got paid, so he couldn't afford a divorce lawyer. I hated that woman. I'm 32. When I was 14, my dad shot himself, leaving my mom with 4 kids. 14, 12, 3 and 1. 3 years ago my brother hung himself. He was going to be 18. 1 year ago my mom committed suicide while I was heavily pregnant with my girl. I couldn't fly to her funeral. I have 2 kids. A 4 years old and a 10-month-old. This got longer than I was planning to make it. I've learned never say never in regards to parenting. But I never want to put my kids through what my parents put my siblings and I through. Edit. I never thought my comment would get so much attention. In reading every reply, but I can't respond to all of them. Monsieur, just know that I am so grateful for the outpouring of love and support you've shown me and those who have lost others to suicide. For those that are thinking of it, you are love worthy, and I'm sorry. Please message me if you ever need to talk to someone. Be unapproachable. Come talk to me anytime about anything. Everything can be fixed. I have 2. Making fun of their interests and hobbies. It's why I don't like showing anyone my artwork. But I will do anything to support my kids and encourage them. Monsieur. If they tell me something in confidence, I'm not using that as a topic of conversation with others. Tell my parents anything and everyone knows. My mom just couldn't understand why I was getting mad when she was telling any yahoo at Walmart the whole story of events leading up to my divorce. Both for why my mom wonders why I don't tell her anything. I don't want that for my kids. I will never ever call my future child a whore, a slut, or a whiny bitch because she is on her monthly. I will never judge her boyfriends and call her a whore for being kind. I will never fat shame her even if she is underweight or make her lie to get out of the house. Beat me up. Fucking bribe them to stay home and not hang out with friends. I became super antisocial and had anxiety when doing almost anything. Kids need to go out and socialize and make mistakes. Edit. Glad I'm not alone in parent-induced social anxiety. I feel like I should mention that I love my mother very much. She was a single mother with massive paranoia issues and did the best she could. In the end, I turned out okay and I have overcome the majority of my anxiety. Still, I feel that I've missed out on a lot of childhood moments, which is why I will never do that to my kids. As per the post, really poor food choices. Constantly comparing myself to other people's kids and belittling my own achievements. Never actually saying I love you. Not be affectionate. My mom was very distant and not a physically emotional person with me growing up. I realized that if I have kids I'd want to read to them, hug them, celebrate their accomplishments. Overall, have them feel comfortable with me to share their thoughts or feelings. Edit. Whoa. Was not expecting any of the comments or upvotes at all. I just post and keep it moving, but you know what? Hugs for all. Only if you consent. I enjoyed reading some of the comments so far and will continue. Single quote. This has been the most affection I've gotten in quarantine, so I hope you're all doing better than I am, monsieur.